You are listening to the Why Smart Women podcast, the podcast that helps smart women work out why we repeatedly make the wrong decisions and how to make better ones. From relationships, career choices, finances, to faux fur jackets and kale smoothies. Every moment of every day, we're making decisions. Let's make them good ones. I'm your host, Annie McCubbin, and as a woman of a certain age, I've made my own share of really bad decisions. Not my husband. I don't mean him, though. I did go through some shockers to find him. And I wish this podcast had been around to save me from myself. This podcast will give you insights into the working of your own brain, which will blow your mind. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm recording and you are listening on this day. Always was, always will be, Aboriginal land.
Oh my God. We should be filming this.
We probably should be filming
hilarious.
this. I'm now recording it as well. Just to give everybody a little visual. So Annie and I crouched over our pod mics, which are weirdly heavy
And big.
and fluffy, in her tiny little car.
Electric, fully
In
electric.
her fully electric car, out the front of our favourite cafe. And we don't look strange at all.
Not at all.
Not
we look
at all.
really normal.
Anyway,
Really
with that in mind,
normal.
hello, friends. Oh, now we're videoing it.
Hi.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. Hello, smart women.
Oh, hello, everybody.
Welcome to the episode.
Welcome to today's episode, which is brought about because I really, really wanted to discuss with Annie the fact that I've spent 2 days at a symposium completely dedicated to misinformation in science communication.
Excuse me, why wasn't I invited?
You were invited. In fact, everyone was invited.
I didn't hear about it.
Well, I'm just quite a lot more popular than you are.
Yeah, you're so popular.
Yeah, that's probably why. So we spent, it was maybe 250 of us, I would
Oh
say.
my God, it'd be like heaven on a stick.
A lot of scientists, I would say mostly scientists, a lot of representation from the CSIRO, and they're really, really smart.
Yeah.
Many, many PhDs. I've never seen so many PhDs in a
Oh my
room.
God. And nobody was talking about collagen, is that correct?
Nobody was talking about collagen or peptide.
injecting peptides.
I guess we were talking about them in an adjacent sort of way because the theme was misinformation in healthcare communication predominantly. So there was quite a bit of climate conversation. So as you can imagine, there's a whole lot of climate skepticism
Where?
in the world.
Oh, I thought you meant at the symposium.
No.
Very confused about that.
Sorry, no. So we were talking about misinformation in science communication. So there's a great wealth of it in climate change science, but then also healthcare science and
Misinformation. Or disinformation is a difference, right?
There is a difference. Do you know what the difference is?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me.
So misinformation can be communicated, but the person who's communicating the misinformation may actually believe that it's correct.
Oh, I see.
Disinformation is deliberate.
Oh, I see.
I know this isn't right. It's like a disinformation.
So-
It has a different intent behind it.
Okay, so if I truly believe that what I'm saying is going to cure your ailment.
If you truly believe that my arthritic fingers, which can I have another little complaint about them? I now can't wear my wedding ring at all, just saying, or any ring at all. My hands are denuded of jewellery.
They are.
Thank you. But if you came to me and said, Annie, your arthritis is caused by a parasite, and you genuinely believe that, and what was going to fix my arthritis was ivermectin,
Or a liver cleanse.
a liver cleanse, and ivermectin, and I don't know what else I'd be doing, and using aged urine, soaking my hands in aged urine, which is actually a thing.
Good one.
Anyway, if you thought that would be misinformation, however, if you had developed a supplement that you know is just full of baking
Rubbish.
powder and said this is going to cure it, that's disinformation.
Okay.
To the best of my knowledge, that is the distinction.
I think that sounds Exactly right. So
Right.
there was a lot of conversation about mis and disinformation in healthcare messaging. And you're right, it was like heaven on a stick because
Best thing ever.
it was just so many clever people coming together to talk. So the idea was that we would have a day of lectures by different people, and then the second day we would break into groups and we would try and tackle this from different angles. My little group was charged with the idea that you can inoculate people against mis and disinformation,
Yeah.
which I love,
Yeah.
So for people
Yeah.
listening,
It's Melanie Tracett King also talks about inoculating people from disinformation by arming them with
yes, well, it's by arming them with a tiny little dose. So think
of
vaccination. Yeah, so arming them with a tiny little dose of misinformation so that the next time their body sees it, they recognise it. So
by using their critical thinking
by
skills.
using their critical thinking
Right.
skills. And I
Lordy
just...
bee.
You would have been perfect there because the whole thing was about critical information. But I was saying to you earlier that it was very cute and also very innocent because all these scientists in the room,
Yeah.
all these PhDs in the room,
Yeah.
and they're all saying, well, what we need to do is we need to teach people critical thinking,
Yes.
and we need to teach them the scientific method.
Good idea,
Yeah,
scientists.
great idea. And then we need to make really balanced and effective social media videos.
Yes.
That teach people these
Good.
that teach people these things.
Great
And of
idea,
course,
scientists.
I'm there like laughing into my coffee, going, "See, you people just don't even know."
Are they not exposed to what we are exposed to
don't-
on the internet?
I don't think they are.
Wow.
So, because I said to them, "Oh yeah, I mean," and that all sounds great because they're all saying, it's not good to be polarizing. Polarizing videos really, it really feeds the problem. And I went, if we'd have this conversation about teaching people the scientific method, and I was like, if I made a video like that, it'd get zero
views. Nobody
and
cares.
zero interactions. But if
Yeah.
you make something that engenders a feeling in somebody, and let's face it, anger is the easiest feeling,
Correct.
or
Outrage.
then of course
Which is just anger on steroids, right?
gets pushed out by the algorithm.
Yeah,
so anyway, they
absolutely.
were very cute. They were like, "Oh no, we'll do it really scientifically."
The problem is, of course, is that science is nuanced and there is diffidence and hesitation around it, and no one is making, large sweeping statements because they're careful, because they are scientists. And what people want more than anything is certainty.
Yep.
And there's really interesting research on how you are going to lead the happiest life you can be if you can entertain and... No, I'll start that whole sentence again. Gee, that was close. That
was
North
close.
Shore
And
Mobile locksmith, wasn't
And
it?
fast.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, we're now talking about the traffic going past us. You are going to lead a much happier life if you can entertain the notion of lack of certainty,
Right.
entertain and tolerate lack of certainty. The reason we've got the rise of these right-wing parties in Australia at the moment, One Neuron as we call it, it's actually One Nation.
One neuron. I love that.
One Neuron, this is really true.
Yes,
Is that what they offer is certainty. This is the problem. So the mouthpieces of the One Neuron party are now saying the problems that we have are to do with immigration. If you get rid of the immigrants, we'll be fine, right? Now that
Problem solved.
Problem solved. That offers certainty. I know who to blame.
Yep.
On my current problems. It's all great, right? Whereas, as we know, all problems are complex and solutions are complex, but that doesn't make people feel better.
No, and it's not sexy.
It's not
at
sexy
all.
like
That's
us.
Not sexy like us huddled in your little car,
With massive microphones.
hunched over our pod mics. The other thing that was a good theme of yesterday was that I think generally people don't understand that science actually isn't. It's not necessarily about facts.
Yeah,
So-
can you explain that for people and
well,
me?
Yeah, so the idea that science really is looking at a claim and whether or not they can then disprove or prove the claim, the hypothesis, using the information that we have.
Yeah.
And also that science is constantly critiquing itself,
Yes.
and constantly evolving. So what
Yes.
was true? I mean, I was looking at someone on my social media feed this morning, and he was
Yes.
going on about how I think it was the old boring one of sunscreens have got chemicals, and you're putting it on your body, and your skin is a sponge. Toxic, and your skin is a sponge. I was like, your skin's not a sponge; it's a barrier. But anyway, and we used to think that asbestos was safe.
Great.
And now we know it's not. So we now, we currently think that these chemical sunscreens are safe. But what are we going to know in the next however many years?
Yes.
And I guess the flaw in that logic is that.
Oh, that's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
So that's what they're saying. So if we just reframe that, we used to think asbestos was safe. And in fact, we used to think smoking was safe.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Then they learnt along the way that was incorrect. So if you hold that notion over here, then you can say, how do you know at this point that they won't discover later on that sunscreens are toxic?
That's
Is that
right.
the premise?
That was the premise. So
can you shoot that down for me?
Therefore, don't wear sunscreen. So that was the that was the message of his little post was.
Who is this guy? Just some guy.
Oh, some guy. I don't know, but he's in my crosshairs now.
Great.
I'll tell you what.
Don't wear it. Just have cancer.
Yes.
Get skin cancer.
Has not addressed that in his video at all, that we know that melanoma is caused by UV exposure.
Yeah.
And we know that this guy's Australian, know that Australia is one of the, I think it's our national cancer almost, or we're the world leaders of melanoma. Or
so proud.
Some kind of
I'm
dubious
so
honour.
Proud. It's so beautiful.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's right. And then you make these very spurious claims. I noted it's not at all funny, and I was completely disgusted, and I'd actually rang the Snarky Gherkin to discuss this post with him, because somebody had done a post that inferred that Richard Scolyer, for those of you who are not in Australia, Richard Scolyer was a scientist. He had made an incredible inroad into the treatment of melanoma. He had then tragically developed a glioblastoma, which he then passed away from, I think, like a week ago now, isn't it? It's
I think it was
terrible.
the Sunday of the long weekend.
It's
it was
the
very sad.
saddest thing. And what this post had said was that the glioblastoma had been caused by the vaccines, and it was almost sort of in saying that he'd been given the Order of Australia, and then other scientists had also been given the Order of Australia, and then they developed these things, and it was all somehow weirdly linked to the vaccine. And I come back to, it was disgusting and an absolute insult to his memory. And I come back to this notion that, this very simplistic notion of cause and effect, right? You have the vaccine, you're just going to die.
Why, though, not something more prevalent in his life? So why not driving his car?
Yeah.
Or drinking water, or having a shower every day? Or why is it always the vaccine?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Why is it always the vaccine?
Eating dinner every night.
Eating
he ate dinner every
Some
night.
ubiquitous activity.
Yeah.
Why? We're mystified. They cannot. I mean, they cannot move past the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
They cannot seem to move past it. I don't know why it is of such obsession in their brains.
Yeah.
Except that it's something, in terms of the idea of, I had a complete mental block.
So was it specifically the COVID vaccine that gave him his glioblastoma, or was it all vaccines?
No.
Just the COVID vaccine?
I think it's the COVID vaccine.
Okay.
And it's identity protective cognition. I guess it's mainly that, where they've identified with a group, and the group gives them a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
And, an identity. And then if they move outside that, if they start to refute some of these ideas or fight it, then they're going to be expelled from the group, and they don't want that, I guess.
But then, just to play devil's advocate for the moment, is that dissimilar to how I feel in my group? yesterday when I was sitting in this room of really, really bright minds and clever thinkers and PhDs, I thought,
I belong here.
Group. Yeah, I belong here.
Yeah. So what is the difference?
I'm really asking, is there no difference?
Well, I guess
Like in my thinking compared to their thinking?
well,
Just from opposite angles.
Well, we know that we're tribally brained, right? We know that, and that we form cohesion with a group incredibly quickly. We know that. So let's say you on the symposium, did you sit with people at lunch or did you sit in the same chair? Did you form relationships with people on it?
I did try because I didn't know a single
Did
person
they hate
there.
you? Did they
hated me?
Did they absolutely fucking hate you?
No, I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know.
Influencer.
Gosh, I hadn't thought about that.
She's strange.
I
Glasses.
I did
short hair.
actually have. I was saying to my David last night. It's so interesting when you have relationships, right? So relationships, and you've got differing levels of relationship and circles. So I've got my good school friends who I've known since we were in year 3, and then all the way up to people who I met for the first time yesterday. But because I was literally nobody else in that room knew me, and I knew nobody.
Yeah.
A lot of other people. So like I said, there was a lot of people from the CSIRO, and a lot of people came in little groups.
That already knew each other.
So I was really that person I was that wallflower on the side going, hi, can I sit with you? I was at lunch. It was like I was in the playground.
Were you a bit nervous?
Hi, can I sit with you?
Or not? Or were you all right?
I'm not really a shrinking violet.
No, me neither.
So I was pretty okay to walk up to a table and go, hi,
Yeah.
I'm here. You're here. You want to play?
Yeah.
But I had the opportunity to be whoever I wanted to be because nobody knew me. So I could be anybody. You can't really be like that with your school friends who you've known since you were 10 years old, because if you try to be somebody else, they're like, oh, that is such bullshit. You're not like that at all. You're actually like this. And you're like, yeah, that's right. So I am.
Yeah.
But yesterday, because I knew nobody, and
You could be whoever you want.
I could be whoever I wanted.
Did you find that quite liberating?
I did. And also because every single bloody person I met went, I'm Dr. So-and-so, my PhD is in molecular whatever, and I work for XYZ University or CSIRO.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, good Lord. I can't just go in with, I'm Kate and I work in a pharmacy. So I went in with,
What?
wait for it.
Yeah, do. I'm waiting.
I'm Kate.
Yeah.
I'm a social media influencer
No.
and health communicator.
No.
My background is in pharmacy.
Truly.
Yes. And by the end of the second day, I was like,
Rolled off the tongue.
oh yeah, I was so the first time I said it, I was almost like, God, I hope nobody
Vomits.
I hope nobody vomits. And by the end of the day, I was all like,
Brimming.
Yep,
Brimming with confidence.
it.
It's hard to say because when people say, what do you do? I don't know.
No.
I don't even know what to say. What do you do? I go, I don't know.
Well, it depends on the
the context.
Depends a little bit on the context, but in this particular context, I just went, oh, good Lord.
Of course, it's interesting, isn't it, this idea of just be yourself. I find that a very interesting notion because who are we? And we're different in different contexts and we're different as we grow and change. And I do like that idea of, well, we're not, that you can't ever find your true self because the sense of a cohesive single self is an illusion. And what we are is just a whole lot of different selves and, like our brain's a committee, right?
Yeah.
And it just depends who's chairing the committee on any given day, really, isn't it?
Yep.
This idea that you're going to meditate and find the true you, like I just don't think it exists. It's a very interesting notion, but how did we get talk? Oh, I know why. I'll go back. So to this idea that, so when you found you said you broke off into pods?
Yes. we
Now,
broke off into
did you
pods.
find when you broke off into the pod
Yes.
that you sort of had a sense of cohesion with that group?
Yes, because my pod then had to divide into 5 groups. So 5 groups within the one pod. So 5 pods divided into 5 groups. And then we had to come up with an idea, and our topic was inoculation against misinformation.
Hang on, how many in your pod? in your?
I would say about 50 in the pod.
Yeah, and then
So say for easy maths, it was 250 people into 5 pods, 50 people in the pod, 50 people divided by 4 or 5 pods.
so about 10.
So about 10 people in the pod.
And you ended up with 10 people.
So I ended up around a table of about 10 people.
Right.
And I felt very aligned with everybody in my pod, but then the idea that we came up with, so then the idea was that we would pitch our ideas within our pod and our one pod would take our one idea.
And did you pitch your idea?
We pitched our ideas, but actually everybody's idea was very similar. So even though we had 5 little groups, which then made us feel even more validated because we've all come up with this very similar idea independently.
Right.
And then when the 5 pods all pitched their idea at the end, it was again very,
very similar.
Very,
I
very
guess you will
similar.
come from a sort of a similar scientific background.
Well, that's right. But that's that feed forward, kind of, I'm looking now for people who validate what I...
Yeah. I think that the thing about identity protective cognition, if we go back to that, is that if you had spent, I don't know, an entire day with your 10 people, right? Let's just say. And then what they know, which is really super interesting, is if somebody then said something negative about somebody in your group, you would probably automatically go in to defend them. Like we form this sort of cohesive notion around a group really, really super quickly. And then what happens is very rapidly, and this is of course all subconscious, is that we start to other people. I'm not saying you did this, but unless we watch it, once we have formed a group, which is very, very easy to do, our empathy levels towards that group are going to be much higher than outsiders. And that's how we know that empathy you've got to be suspicious about empathy because it can be weaponized, whereas compassion is compassion for all. But that idea that you form a group, this is your group, you must protect the group, and then we start to think that this group that I am in is probably superior to other groups, and then we start to defend it. And that notion, of course, is quite archaic, and it's a protective mechanism, right? Because this is my tribe, we're going to hunker down together and that's how we're going to defend ourselves. So in terms of identity protective cognition, let's just say you're in this sort of scientific environment you were in. If somebody started to say something, like I got up this morning and I washed in aged urine and I've got some good evidence for that, the critical thinking part of your brain would hopefully start to go, just because you are part of this group, I don't believe that.
Yep.
And that is the application of critical thinking that would override the idea of identity with a group.
You hope.
You would hope. And that's why I've got somebody in my environment at the moment that's anti-climate change. And so the notion is, well, if you're going to be anti-climate change and you form a position, if you're going to use critical thinking, then you have to try and disprove that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Your own position. We all should be trying to disprove our own position. Is that correct?
I think so, but that's the I've got a very dear friend who's very liberal thinking, as in small L, liberal thinking, but actively goes out and listens to Sky News and because he
Murdoch.
Yeah, because he's trying to constantly
to challenge himself.
Himself. I know.
Really good.
I know. Oh no, I know. He gets the gold star, but
I can't do it.
No, well, I don't seem to be able to do it either because I tend to end up just having arguments. So even when I'm looking at this guy on the socials this morning and he's talking about not wearing sunscreen. So actually, I mean, he did say...
that guy.
Yeah.
That's not the same guy that listens to Sky News.
No. My dear friends listens to Sky News, and this other weirdo on Instagram who just came up on my feed was the guy against the harsh chemicals in sunscreen.
Oh, God.
But when I'm watching the harsh chemicals in sunscreen video, I'm not sitting there going, hang on, let's just evaluate your reaction to this and challenge your own thinking around it. I'm just there yelling at my phone going, don't be an idiot.
Well, I mean, because presumably this is not the first time that you have encountered pseudoscience.
No.
right?
Sadly.
If this was the first time that you had ever encountered in your whole life somebody saying something like that, I imagine you would go, oh, hang on, that flies in the face of let me think.
Stuff I know.
But
yeah.
there's a tsunami of this stuff, especially for like you or I or any of us that move in this environment, that we're swamped with every day. So I'm not, every time I see something nutsy, I don't either. I don't go, oh, let me rethink about aged urine and ivermectin, because I know at this point, because I've done the analysis.
Yeah, yep.
You have to, we have to just use judgment. I am highly suspicious of anything that offers a simplistic cure to things that I know are highly complex.
And isn't that the thing that your parents taught you when you were little, which is, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is?
Yes.
But it has such a grounding in truth, that statement, because if that's like these multivitamin supplements or whatever, if it's doing all of these jobs, then doesn't that give you pause to go, hang on, that doesn't...
What do you mean?
Oh, so I'm not a big believer in, well, I'm not a big supplement believer anyway, as you know, but especially a multivitamin, because you've got to like, what are you hoping to achieve
with a multivitamin?
But even if you're looking for a supplement of any kind, what are you hoping to achieve? So you've got arthritis. If you wanted a supplement, you'd be like, what am I hoping to achieve? A decrease in inflammation in my fingers.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Hence turmeric. Everyone telling me to take turmeric.
Okay, so I can see the thought process there, because they're saying turmeric's anti-inflammatory. But what they're not saying is take this multivitamin, because part of this multivitamin may contain something that is an anti-inflammatory, but it's also got all these other things in it.
Yeah.
You're like, I just want the thing to do the job.
Well, I think the promise of a multivitamin is that generic notion of health, wellness.
Yeah.
I'm going to be weller.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be well plus.
I'm going to that's right. I walked past a chiropractor and it said, we can't restore you to optimum health. Well, can you?
Yeah, but also
awesome.
That's so generic, because
what does it mean?
Because what does optimum health mean?
I don't know. See, then I just get exhausted by it.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is, even with, see, look at that finger. It's terrible.
It's like a little sausage.
It's like a sausage.
On the end of your hand.
It is like, listeners, it's like the rest of my fingers look a bit knobbly, but I've got this one finger and it's like a frigging sausage just sitting there, not bending.
It's like a little chicken chipolata.
It is like a little chicken chipolata. Maybe, yeah.
It is. I'm sure I fried that on a pan once.
I know, it's exactly what it looks like.
It's really quite ugly.
It's really ugly and horrible.
Yeah.
And I have to, and hopefully when I move my hands when I'm talking, people don't go, oh, why is
she flapping a chicken chipolata in my face?
I know. So I would love it to be fixed.
Have you seen Everything Everywhere All at the Time?
Yes.
Everything
Everywhere All at Once.
All at once. You know how her hands turn into sausage fingers?
I know. That's what my finger is. And what if they all go like that? Do you think they might?
Yeah, I think then David will have to leave you, because
they haven't. Just
look at that one. Look at that first one.
She's now pointing out the fact that I've got some sort of nodule or something, and another. Anyway, it's not. I'm
We're
not
off topic. Sorry.
I'm not loving the hand thing. It's more than the looks. The look of it just keeps me awake, and I frigging can't do anything with a couple of my fingers. But anyway, so people say to me, have turmeric. Now, if you look at the data around turmeric, I'd need to be eating like 2 kilos a day.
Metric tons of it.
And it tastes like frigging mud. Like, oh, what's happened to my video?
It got bored.
It got bored with us crapping on.
It was the sausage fingers. It just went, goodness,
yeah.
We can't possibly be showing people sausage fingers. I don't actually think you're recording.
Far
now,
out.
Now you're recording.
Oh, my God almighty, what is wrong with me?
I don't think you're actually what they call a noob.
What is that?
Isn't that someone who's afraid of technology?
No, just more inept. I'm afraid. I'm just inept. That's really disappointing to me.
You probably tried to press the record button with your sausage finger.
With my chicken chipolata.
With your chipolata, and it didn't register it because it's not a chipolata interface.
It's like, where's your finger? Like I don't. Okay, so I didn't record that, but you've recorded it,
Well, I'm recording it on the,
and you have to send that to me.
but I'm not recording it on a video. Anyway,
know, but
people will have to go without the vision of us hunkered down in your car
In my car.
over our pod mics with people trying to have coffee, I would say a meter away.
A metre away, having a normal life.
Having a normal conversation in real life.
without large microphones in their face.
Well, they
so,
haven't
what did we discuss? We've discussed a little bit of identity protective cognition. We've discussed your scientific symposium.
Yeah, it was really very uplifting.
Yeah,
it was really very
course.
nice to be with people who are also thinking about these things in really serious ways. I was very.
It's reassuring, isn't it?
It is. It was very reassuring. And
It's
very
like when I
motivating.
go to the skeptics when I talk. Can we talk about how great I was at the skeptics the other night?
You were actually.
That's really good.
You
yeah.
were. It was.
Yeah.
It was really, really.
It's a disturbing thing that happened, wasn't it?
Yes, it is. It is disturbing, but also disturbing was your information around the declination rates of vaccine uptake in
Just terrible.
Yeah, across the world. It is terrible, and that is probably a topic.
That's
for
a whole other topic
episode.
about what's going to happen to us if we don't arrest the decline
Yeah.
in vaccinations. So we've got a big job ahead of us, and anybody out there, wherever you are in the world, please make sure that you holding the line when it comes to health and wellness. Mis and disinformation, you know, as to the best of your ability, if you can actually start to have discussions with people, because it's really dangerous.
It's dangerous, isn't it? And I guess
And we don't
also-
like it.
We don't like it. We also just don't want you to be spending your money on stuff that isn't. Just do the boring things. Just do the boring things.
It's what we said last time.
Yeah.
If you want to boost your immune system,
to
Kate,
bed.
what are you going to do?
Go to bed.
And then what else?
If you want to boost your immune system, well, we discussed how Sorry, that's just how I feel. We discussed boosting your immune system isn't what you want, because then you'd have an autoimmune disease.
Correct.
So if you are unwell,
Yes.
self-isolate as much as possible so
Yes.
as not to spread it around, because
Yes.
that's a really community-minded thing to do.
What else?
Go to bed nice
Yep.
and early, lots of sleep, lots of rest. Lower your expectations. You are, in fact, unwell.
Okay. And in order to try and not get sick, what do I have to do?
Again,
Yeah.
keeping healthy. Well,
Look,
if
drinking water. Listen to
drinking-
this.
Oh, that's going to sound amazing. That's ASMR, people.
Yeah. Does everybody feel calm and fantastic now after listening to me drink water? Go on.
Hydration,
Yep.
good nutrition,
Yep.
stay as fit and healthy as you possibly can,
Yep.
good night's sleep,
Yeah,
and if you actually have a lowered immunity, so if you're one of those poor people who, actually, I don't know, if you're on chemotherapy or you've got a lower immunity for whatever reason, then wear a mask for yourself.
100%.
And if you happen to be unwell and you can't self-isolate, then wear a mask for other people. And,
Yep.
and
Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated.
I noticed on the Pit, so David and I are watching the Pit at
So
the moment.
good.
We have to watch it through sort of, behind a cushion because of the amount of cutting into
There's a lot of
sort of purulent, is it purulent flesh?
there's a lot of gore.
There's a lot of gore. It's
Yeah.
pretty raw.
I mean, it's medicine.
Yeah, it's
it's
right.
emergency
Yeah.
medicine.
And so somebody came into the waiting room and she with a coughing child, and somebody else had said, put a mask on your child, and she said, I don't wear a mask because it's a load of crap. Anyway,
yeah.
so then she went in and she'd done something, and so she had to go into surgery, and she'd been saying, I don't wear a mask, it's Fauci crap. Anyway, so then he said, okay, you're going to need surgery. He said, so I'm assuming when you go into surgery, you're totally fine about the surgeons not wearing masks.
Yeah,
I said, okay. And she
exactly.
went,
Yeah.
because suddenly it's,
when
suddenly
the shoe's on the
they're
other
with
foot.
then you want to wear a mask. So do wear a mask. Don't buy vitamins and minerals and supplements that saying we're
nice-
going to boost your immune system,
Nice
because
hot
they
shower.
won't. take care of yourself as best you can. It's pointless saying to people don't get stressed because life is inherently stressful, but do some exercise. That's a great way to counter, isn't it?
Yeah, so good for everything.
Really good. And so good. I think we've covered in a generic way some interesting topics, and we shall join you again next week.
Yes.
Because we're writing our little
project.
We're writing a little project.
Annie and I have a little project
which we'll let you know about.
Yeah. It's really good.
So
Get excited. Get excited, people.
Yeah, we get excited. Grab life by the horns and run with it. Is that the metaphor that I messed up then? You can't grab something by the horns and run with it, can you?
Thought you were going to say balls.
Because grabbing something by the horns, if you grabbed the horns of something and then ran, it would gore you.
It would be awkward physically to do that. But reins?
No,
don't know.
No, anyway, we're going to get back to you next week with the correct metaphor. So lovely to talk from Kate and I. I hope wherever you are in the world, listeners, that you are remaining safe, taking care of yourself, staying well, and always keeping your critical thinking hats firmly on your head. See you later. Bye.
And now we have to leave. I now have to leave the car.
You've got to go to the car.
But people are going to look at me.
Yeah, weirdly. With all your fat mics.
It's okay. Luckily, I've got the height of a rhinoceros. Okay, bye.
Thanks for tuning into Why Smart Women with me, Annie McCubbin. I hope today's episode has ignited your curiosity and left you feeling inspired by my anti-motivational style. Join me next time as we continue to unravel the fascinating layers of our brains and develop ways to sort out the fact from the fiction and the over 6,000 thoughts we have in the course of every day. Remember, intelligence isn't enough. You can be as smart as paint, but it's not just about what you know, it's about how you think. And in all this talk of whether or not you can trust your gut, if you ever feel unsafe, whether it's in the street, at work, in a car park, in a bar, or in your own home, please respect that gut feeling. Staying safe needs to be our primary objective. We can build better lives, but we have to stay safe to do that. And don't forget to subscribe, rate and review the podcast and share it with your fellow smart women and allies. Together, we're hopefully reshaping the narrative around women and making better decisions. So until next time, stay sharp, stay savvy, and keep your critical thinking hat shiny. This is Annie McCubbin signing off from Why Smart Women. See you later. This episode was produced by Harrison Hess. It was executive produced and written by me, Annie McCubbin.